So I'm thinking, what y'all doing on March 19th? You need to be coming to the Oddity Bar to see Naja Nicole and me, G-Jones, be oddly dope. Knowing me, typically, I say, give me a word and I give you a poem, and then someone will say,
Sade, I'm thinking, I'm thinking, I was probably conceived by the sweetest taboo. I mean, honestly, I could ask my mama, but she probably wouldn't tell me the truth. And by the time my dad left, I really don't know who could make me so confused about what an ordinary love looked like. Fine.
hold on, we ain't even gonna do them that way. This is such a feel-good time presented by the Delaware Music Network, sponsored by the Delphi Group, so you can get your Up and Smoke tickets live on site that day. Now, Naj, go ahead, because you always got something to say. Hey, yo, G-Dash, boy, take your hat off. Fine. This week on Hats Off with G-Jones. Okay. Y'all know what it is. Y'all know what it's time for. That's right, y'all. It's another one of these amazing episodes of Hats Off with your boy. That's me, of course. G-Jones. Oh, man, y'all don't even know. Listen, we got something y'all in store for a situation today. Okay, a whole situation, right? Listen, I have my man Randy in the building. He the king of bass, right? We gonna talk to him. I got LJ Walsh in the building. Gonna listen. He gonna be pulling up. Listen, it's gonna be a great conversation. First thing first, I gotta let y'all know what's about to pop off left over. Okay, I gotta let you know. First of all, me. Okay, March 19th, Outlet Dope, Naja Nicole, G-Jones, setting that stage on fire. It's gonna be a little okay? You gonna want to catch that, okay? I'm just letting you know that's something that you don't want to miss at the Oddity Bar, March 19th. Doors open at 5. March 24th is gonna be Tony Trauber live at the Rockford Tavern. Okay, I don't know if you know what Tony Trauber do, but you gonna learn today. Okay, she gonna show you with the vocals, the sultry sounds of Tony Trauber. That's just how you gotta say her name. That's my fault. I didn't say it right. Okay, anytime you mention Tony Trauber, you gotta say the sultry sounds of Tony Trauber. That's how you gotta say it. It's not my fault. So that's what's popping. And I need y'all to listen. And I need y'all to head out. Why not? Why not pull up? LaShawn Janell, Erica Wim, listen at the bar. This Monday Club, March 11th. They're going to be at the Monday Club with the open mic situation. It's going to be some bars. It's going to be some bands. It's going to be some fun. It's going to be some vocals. Listen, have a good time, okay? And have a good time. That's all I'm advising. Now, with that said, I'm thinking, let's start the show. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and bring up my man there. There we go, right there in the building.
Yo, let me know.
Yo, it was good. It was good.
I got two legends. Y'all both look real legendary right now. Like, look at you! Looking like what I want to see when I grow up. I'm trying to tell you.
I ain't grew up yet.
Listen, all right with them. I guess I only need a couple years to get there.
You know what I'm saying? You know what's going on. Hey, what they say? Hey, yo, G, check that hat off.
And you can put the hat on for me. That's it. Listen. Oh man, I'm taking that too. I'm gonna clip that. That's cool. You gonna find that somewhere.
Clip that one, yeah.
How y'all doing today?
Good, man. Good, doing good.
Yeah, you know.
Man, that's what's up. All right. So let's get into it. Well, first of all, I'm gonna start with Randy. Can you tell the world a little bit about yourself? The king of I call you the king of bass because I don't. People can look left or right, but if they find a bass guitar in Delaware, you probably had it. So tell the world a little bit about yourself, sir.
Oh, well, I'll do the music aspect. So, basically I started playing when I was about 14 years old, and 13, 14 years old. And it really kind of started it was just, this was actually brought up on a interview I did as a lie because I was a kid and I wanted to join this band. And they said, we need a bass player. I said, yeah, I can play bass. Kind of like the dude on South Park, he could play. So I was like, yeah, I can play. And I was like, okay. So I asked my mom, dad, for a bass for Christmas and stuff. So they got one. And after that, man, I learned I was playing songs actually that night. I was playing. So, and then after that, man, it just took off. Then around about when I was in high school, around 81, and MTV took off, and that was it, man. I saw that, I was gone. I said, musician's what I want to be when I grow up. So, and that's, mom, dad didn't want to send me to college for music. They're like, nah, we're not doing that. But I managed to, just squeeze it in and, just do what I could when I could. And pretty much when I got out of college, that's when things really started to pop off. Met my brother who was out of Philly, and I was adopted. So he was my biological brother, and he played bass. So hooked up with him, and man, it was off to the races after that. So a lot of cats that you see down here, like Chris Odom, Stan Brisbane, a lot of cats that come down here, I knew them, back then. My brother turned me on to because he used to play with them. So just music just been in my blood ever since. So, I mean, honestly, that's about it, man. Just played steadily now for about, I don't know, 35 years, something like that.
Wow.
Since about 19, yeah. So, 35,
Hold on, I apologize, y'all, real quick. I had to bring her up quick. She only got a short time, but she had to say hi. So, look,
Yeah.
listen.
It's a party.
Hey.
You calling me
You
from me?
like a British situation, okay?
So you want listen? By the way, y'all, that's LaShawn Janell. In case the world don't know, you want to tell us a little bit about yourself? Go ahead, let them know.
So, see, Saturday, Monday. Okay, so Saturday at the Monday Club. Say that 5 times fast. But we have an open mic coming up. I am asking everyone to bring their poetry, their jokes. LJ Wash, you were funny last Wednesday, by the way.
Appreciate that.
A little comedy break was hilarious. But bring your musicians, bring your music, bring whatever. We got the drinks. We have a food truck. We got the vibes. We have a live band, and their name is Press Play Philly, and they are so dope. I met them a couple of weeks ago, and they are so friendly, but they know what they're doing. So you tell them what you need, and they're on it. And they have background vocals. So I'm saying we're great. We have the situation. You just have to insert yourself into it. 7 to 11 on Saturday. I'm hosting. I'll be performing. I got you on the background. I know you don't know that about me, but yeah.
So
you bring
hold on,
yourself.
before I let you go, I gotta ask you, so the world knows, when you say you performing, in case they haven't seen you perform, what do you do? Tell the world. Yeah, that's it. Hold it up slow. Let them know.
Right. So I am a poet. I'm also an author. My book is called Evolution of a Butterfly's Truth. I wrote it a few years ago. I'm working on the next one. But yeah, I've been spitting poetry for, at this point, probably half my life. These days, I incorporate music with my poetry, and that's been fun. But yeah, I kind of just do a little bit of everything. Not comedy, though. That's G-Dash's area. But beyond that, yeah, I got you. I'm good at my poetry, though. Don't.
Absolutely. I love it. I love it. So, okay, and like I said, I know you on a time crunch, but I got a question.
You're good. You
here?
I got time.
Oh, man. Okay, sweet. Then that means you're in the rotation. I'm glad you're here because you got it's Women's Month. I need some estrogen in the building.
Exactly.
Okay, so I just talked to Randy, and Randy had just told us how he was playing bass before I was born, and that was like interesting to me. And and then the MTV era is what made him like really tied to it, which was even more interesting because that was before LJ Walsh was even thought of. Okay, probably a good smooth 10 years before LJ Walsh was.
Now, I'm eligible to live in one of those retirement communities now. So.
You're gonna be playing bass in the community, huh?
Why not? Hey, somebody got a party somewhere. It's a party somewhere.
They need entertainment also. They really do. It doesn't change. It's just their age change, but they do need, stimulation. So I think there's a lane for you.
I'm here for it. So LJ Walsh, you didn't get to tell the people about yourself. What do you do? Tell them about yourself.
Hey, feel me? I'm I'm LJ Wash. You know what I'm saying? I just do I do a lot of different things. I'm a producer, so every like song you hear, like I also produce all that. On the side, I guess everybody probably already know that I make music, but so I'm gonna say like I'm gonna go into depth like other things that I do. So on the side, like I do other like different like productions for like mini like web like I have a web show I'm working with, like a little mini web show that I'm doing a sound check for. So I got like I do like different like genres and stuff like that. So I'm making like cinematic music and things like that. I'm also and you see I got my own green screen that I bought and stuff like that. I've been working on my own little mini series based off of the Flash. It's gonna be called the Ghetto Flash. Feel me? Because it's gonna be ghetto. But I'm working on that. So I've been working on that for a little bit. Um, like all the special effects too. So that John, it looks legit. Like, I've been working hard, like with Adobe After Effects, animating, keyframing, all of that stuff like that. Because I'm into all of that. That's what I do for college and stuff like that. Um, I guess also another thing, I also do YouTube. So I'll be going around doing I'll be doing the public trolling and stuff like that. That's more like centered towards like my age group. They like that stuff, and stuff like the prank stuff like that is public trolling and all that. So I'll be doing that. I'll be drawing. I'll be going out like going crazy, like stuff like people, not a lot of people gonna want to do. But so I basically I just do a lot of I'm just waiting for my time really to just hope like everything just gets noticed at once, and this one day I just one of the things that I do is gonna blow up. Whether it's music, producing, animation, or YouTube, something my time's gonna come someday, and I just pray to God every day that whatever happens, happens. You know what I'm saying? So
So,
yeah, that's basically what I do.
so how did you get into music? Like, what kind of got you into wanting to perform and make music?
So back in the day, like, well, I know that's not a long time for me, I guess, but back in the day, you know what I'm saying? So my dad, so I grew up in the church and stuff like that. So I grew up, I always was at the what do you call it? Like the rehearsals and things like that. Probably like every other day after school and stuff, I would go to rehearsal because my dad played for Seeds of Greatness in Newcastle. So he played for that. And I'll be at the rehearsals. I would be with the praise team. I would just be doing my homework probably back in like fourth grade, third grade, doing my homework while I'm just listening to everything going on. So I always like grew to like love all like the different like instruments and stuff like that. Um, Recording wise, it started with my dad too. I remember he used to like he was a keyboardist, so he's a keyboard for the church, but he also on the side he would like make like mix people's songs and stuff like that, mix like gospel songs and things like that of upcoming like gospel artists. So he had like the microphone in the bathroom. He had a little setup. We had the microphone in the bathroom. With like the bottom, the basement bathroom, we changed that into like a little recording room, and we had all the the little foam johns. You feel me? Yeah, had all that. I was like, I think I was in like third grade, and I was a big Ben 10 fan. So I was like, I want to make a song. I made a song about Ben 10. So I actually, not saying the song was good, but I produced the song. So I was like on the keyboard with the little drum kit, and he pressed record, and I was just going crazy with the drum kit. And then I went in there, I started rapping about Ben 10. I was like, your forearm's gonna crush you. I'm gonna turn into Cannonball. I was just going crazy, just rapping about Ben 10 and aliens. And then performance inspiration is definitely Michael Jackson. Like I grew up just watching it. I know I wasn't there all the like for like his prime days, but best believe I went and I studied all of that. I literally I know everything about him. I know everything about everything like performance wise, all of this. So you could give me a show and a title, and I'll tell you all the times he done performed it, where he performed it at. I watched like everything. I made sure I did all my research and stuff like that. I'm very big on like old school stuff anyway. Well, I don't only make rap, but I know I mainly like perform rap and like post rap, but that's what like my generation wants to hear, and that's like my main base. But I like mainly like listen to like a bunch of different genres, including like more older songs and stuff like that. And I would say another thing that got me into music too is back in middle school we had the school iPads, so they had GarageBand on it, and that's when I was like, okay, let me start like making my own stuff real quick, like just as a joke. I started like throwing little loops together in GarageBand, and I started I was recording myself through the iPad speaker and nothing crazy, and I made like a little joking fun diss track on some friends, and we had the whole school liking it, and it was you should make some more little troll tracks, and then the troll tracks turned into, as high school went on, turned into a little more serious tracks and stuff like that. You feel me? Turned into that, and then yeah.
That is deep. Oh man. So and the reason why it's deep to me is because it's just such a robust story. And I never met a live troll. I didn't know some you really be trolling. That's a thing. So I didn't expect it. I didn't expect it. But what you said that also caught me, right? You kind of talked about what inspired you to perform, and that made me think, because Randy, when you spoke, you said you saw MTV and you was like, I want to do this.
Yes.
Do you remember what you saw on MTV, or what was the band, what was the group,
it was a lot of things actually, because one thing that MTV did is, and it brought a lot of the bands you saw to the forefront. So I'm dating myself now. So when you saw records and stuff that were advertised on TV and everything else, and songs, you saw maybe a couple of albums, or you saw little snippets of the band, but I wasn't into a lot of some of the bands, their anthology or anything else, but actually seeing them on MTV and actually seeing, especially their live performances, that made me want to dig into the anthology of a lot of bands. So I actually went back and listened to a lot of stuff. A lot of my bands were were English bands at the time, like Duran Duran and everything else, because the bass player was very, very prominent. One thing about the English groups back then is they had no compunction about letting people know where they got their artistry from, which is old blues, old school rock, everything. They let it, and they had soul. They could groove, they could funk, they could groove, everything else. So that was another aspect of it. And I told my mom, when I graduate 18, when I graduate from high school, I'm going to England. She said, "You're not going. You going to college, boy?" I'm like, "We ain't having that." That's all I wanted to do. I wanted to go to England, take my bass, go there and take my chances. So what Chrissy Hine of the Pretenders did. She just take a chance and just go. But that was the start of it. Seeing groups and getting into their music, and again going back into the anthology of the Stones, of Earth, Wind and Fire, a bunch of cats, learning their history of how and why they did things and everything else. That was a huge part of it. So from there, I just began to grow, and the more I saw, the more I learned. My mom had to kick me out of the house, go outside and play, but nah, after this is over, and we were old school, so I had a whole old cassette recorder. So I sit up there and put it up to the TV and record my favorite songs onto an old tape player, and everything else. But that's how deep, it was for me. So, doing that, and went to music school for a while. Actually had a chance to go to a couple of music colleges, but again, mom and dad's like, nah, we're not doing that. You got to get something else. So I graduated from DSU with a degree in psychology, and after that was over, then I really started to actually, now it's like Jefferson said, now it's my turn it back. So now I just basically immerse myself in music, especially with the help of my brother. And when I, got to know him and I went up to Philly, that's really where it all the pieces came together. He was a bass player. He was playing in bands. And so basically everything here was a learning experience. So I would go to his gigs, everything else. It was roadie. One of my first jobs was working being a roadie, because my brother was actually playing bass for School ED. So it's my first job as a roadie, doing stuff for Columbia, out of Columbia Records, was actually being like an impromptu road manager. I drove the van to New York. Never drove to New York a day in my life. New York City anyway. Take the van, go up there, do this and that. Make sure they have this, that, and the other. Okay, it's $100. Okay, no problem. So and then again, from there, that's now you're getting immersed into the business side of it. Now, so you're learning. I learned the business basically from the inside out, and so just hanging around, my brother's musician friends and everything else. Now you're learning the musical side of it. So it was just, my mind was like a sponge, just learning until it got to a point where, okay, now you've learned. Let's see what you can do. So, so that's where I took it upon myself, to play in lots of different bands, metal bands, punk bands, ska bands, reggae bands. I played country and western. I've done spot dates with a lot of the big cover bands that are around here now and everything else. And because I was available, people was calling me up on the phone, yo, can you do this? Yep. Can you do that? Yep, sure can. so it just things just kind of, took off from there. And at one point, and probably still to this day, I'd average playing with 6 to 10 different bands a year.
Ooh.
Yeah, so now you're like,
Wow.
you're talking sometimes like maybe 4 days in a row of nothing but rehearsals with different bands, and that's not including what you have to learn on your own. And just spot dates where it's like, hey, so bass player dropped out, can you do this? Here's 36 songs, learn them in 24 hours. And I'll see you in North Wildwood. Never met these people, never met this band a day of my life, never played with them a day of my life. But it's bit here, do what you got to do. Hey, how you doing? I'm so-and-so. Never met him before. Next thing you know, you're playing, you do good, you get paid. And then next thing you know, it's just word of mouth, and everything else. And then it just takes off from there.
Wow, that is so deep. This is why I call you the king of bass. Because listen, pick a style, okay? Pick a style. Randy is ready to play. Okay, that is
That's what my brother
phenomenal.
said. He said learn to play it all. He said play it all. And that's where you get calls for. You don't want to be, you kind of emphasize the fact that you don't want to be a one-trick pony. Just do it all. You do it all, then you'll get around, and you're more likely to see like your dreams and aspirations, come through on whatever level that happens to be. So.
Absolutely. Thank you for that. That is fire. So, and that makes me have to ask LaShawn kind of the same question. When you think about it, like, I'm sure you've been writing since writers write forever, right? But like getting on that stage and doing that spoken word, when was it like, I want to do this? I don't mind doing this. Because and just a moment for the world, all poets are not spoken word artists. Some people, and that is perfectly fine. Some people have an issue with that, but it's perfectly fine. If you want to just write and be like authoring, that is great too. But like, what made you, LaShawn, what made you like get on the stage and want to perform?
I don't know. Like, like when I think back on it, I am an introvert. I actually don't know why I keep scaring myself into being on stage, but at some point, I guess I had to just get over myself. And I think it must have been this inner push that said, more than a few people need to hear you. And so the first time I stepped on this stage, I was LJ's age. I was 20. I was, I won't say what year that was. We're not doing that today. But I was at UD, and there was this organization called Stimulating Prose Ideas and Theories. So the acronym was SPIT. And I said, damn it, I got something to say. And they had a band there also. And I just did. I don't even know what pushed me to do it. I just said I want to. And so I think that's like the gift calling you, but I didn't ask for it, but it feels like I just needed to. I got pushed to do so. And then that felt good. And then I left it alone for 5 years. And so then I'm back and I'm around other poets and creatives. And I'm like, I got something to say too. And so it just gained momentum. So now I'm in Philly, I'm at Warm Daddies, I'm at the Arts Garage. I'm getting over myself even more. I'm trying to memorize things. I don't even try anymore at this point, but there was a time. Mom brain has gotten me, so that's where I wrote a book. That way I can read and don't look like I'm like, coming out of my phone, which is no judgment. But either way, it just gained momentum. And so each time I leave it alone for a little bit, I'm inspired again, and then I'm right back in. And that's been, the cycle. But it's almost like I can't help it.
Because once you feel it, it's in you. It called you.
Right. It literally called me. And I'm so shy until that moment. It clicks and I black out. And then I'm whoever I am squared. Maybe that's Janell. And Janell is not LaShawn. LaShawn is a therapist that is like, quiet-ish. But Janell, she goes off. And it's infectious. it's so, and then you get that love from the crowd, and it just fuels me anyway. And I don't know if that
Yes.
happens for you all, but the energy you get, it's so validating that you want more of it, and you want more of it, and then you keep saying yes. This year, I said I'm just going to say yes to dope things, and it's been working. So
Yes, say yes to dope things. That should be on a shirt. Say yes to dope things. Like,
come on, find me a distributor. Say yes to dope thing. Actually, it's a curse word, but my mama's watching, so. But say yes to dope
I'm here
things.
for it. I'm here for it. So that kind of brings me back around to you, Mr. Walsh, sir, because I'm thinking, you know, as Randy spoke of his many talent, and I know for a fact, like LaShawn writes in different genres and so much, and you have so many different talents that you kind of lock into as well. What's your favorite style or favorite thing to lock into?
I'm not gonna lie, favorite thing currently is gotta be video editing. Currently, yeah, it's gotta be. I really started some. I really started locking into video editing. Like I've been doing video editing for a while, like, but I really started like going like crazy with like software and like CGI stuff like this summer. More so this year. Now that I'm starting my my little the Flash like little thing. So I've really been like, there's gotta just be like producing, but like producing beats and different like genre soundtracks and stuff. But my top favorite right now is gotta be video editing.
Okay, I gotta dive in a little bit to that because you said, you know, your second favorite is producing, but beats in different genres. Is there a specific type that you gravitate to the most, or that really kind of pulls you in?
Right now I've been going crazy with I've been making like New Jack Swing type like Michael Jackson beats on the side. I ain't really post. I've been posting little snippets, but I performed one of them Johns at the open mic. It was like the second one. It was like the butterfly type. I made that joint by scratch and stuff like that. I got the whole like kit for like all those old like drum kits and stuff like that. So I've been that's like my favorite stuff right now. I got like a them 90s like snares and stuff like that. I got all that. So that's probably my favorite to work with just because that's my favorite. Like really, since MJ my favorite, like I love the 90s style of MJ, like the Dangerous album, like Dangerous, Can't Get Away, Can't Let It Get Away, Jam, and Who Is It? So I'll say that's my favorite style. My most worked on style is definitely like rap beats. That's my most worked on like production style. That's what really like, you know, this generation, that's what gets people going. But my favorite styles is like, yeah, it gotta be New Jack.
I'm with you. Listen, I don't know if you know, but Teddy Riley would be like just smiling from his heart right now. Teddy Riley, listen, yo, we're gonna get you some of them outfits that they was rocking during
Leather
Yeah,
from head to toe.
straight leather.
Yeah, yeah.
The Jerry curls too. Need that.
Listen,
Juice, right?
it'd be a vibe. I'm here for it. Randy, I gotta ask you the same type of question though, because like you play all different types of genres of music, and in my mind, I can't even think about what you would prefer the most. Like what do you love to play the most?
Oh man, that's a tough question. I would probably have to. I think if I had to do just one, I would probably say rock, because rock was actually my roots. You know, we had like when I started, my big gig was actually, we had an all black hard rock band back in like 1989, and we opened up for Greg Howe in around 1990. And but that really was the catalyst, that was the forefront, because, you know, again, still listening to MTV and, you know, and everything was back in the 80s and everything else. So rock was kind of cool, and, you know, and the bass for me really stood out. Again, it's really hard for me to, I don't really want to catch myself saying that I'm you know, so many things out there, and, you know, that I played so much and I just love. But if I had to pick one, I would say rock, because it can encompass a lot of things. And especially when we dig into the roots of rock itself, blues, soul, gospel, everything else, all that's incorporated in it, and it comes out at some point. So if I have to pick one, I'm going to say rock.
Wow. Okay. I could see it. I could see that, especially with the diversity of it. So, LaShawn, I know your pen. I've read the book. I know where it goes. It goes a lot of different places. Like a lot of different places. With that said, what you if you had to pick something that you prefer to write about, what is that? What do you prefer to kind of create about?
So I'm smiling because I do like the happy love poems and sensuality, but in a way, I'm also kind of like how we like Mary J. Blige's like we like her when she's upset and angry because she just I don't know there's another kind of passion that she comes with through her pain, and so I would say that just the release of writing about my pain and that it is relatable to someone else. I like that. But I do like, when I'm feeling something and I'm happy about it, I do like the love and sensuality poems. I mean, the love chapter is 40 pages out of 140, so it takes up a good chunk. So because I love love and all that it can encompass and make each other better when it's healthy, I'd say, yeah, my genre would be somewhere in there. Kind of like a neo soul version, but written.
Absolutely. Listen, I'm about to tell Alexa to play Loves Me by Jill Scott. It's special. Listen, we about to go.
Favorites. Yep, I have a matchup with that. Shout out to Best Kept Soul doing that with me. Oh, God, 10 years ago. We actually did that song while I read a poem and was, don't. And then it was good. I have old primitive YouTube video of that moment.
Ooh, listen, feel free to repost. The world needs to see it.
No 4K.
But feeling. I promise you, there ain't nothing but feeling there.
That's about it because you can barely see me. But yeah, you can hear us though, and it was a moment.
I love it. Okay. And I keep forgetting that I'm actually performing this month too, so I should talk. Listen, my favorite thing to do when I get up on that stage is it's either. Ooh, see, I don't prepare myself to answer my questions. I should have, but I would have to say.
Hold on.
You need someone to interview you.
Yeah.
I'm used to asking the questions around these parts.
All right, I got you. All right, G-Dash. So, as you think about the genre or the style that you like to perform on stage, because you are multifaceted and multi-talented, what comes to mind first that creeps up to the top as far as what really lights you up when you like to perform?
I would say I enjoy performing the most. It's weird because as I wrote a book too, the stuff from my book is always it's great to perform for me, but that's not what it doesn't challenge me on the stage the same because I know that stuff. Like that stuff, whatever I'm gonna perform typically for my book, I done practiced 50 million times. Like I got a whole that's a whole different thing. Yeah. So it's probably when I'm doing improv and it's in a space that I'm not getting things that I typically receive. Right? There are times when I get on, believe it or not, and there are words that people always say because this is what people come to mind. They typically think of the same things. But when I get that one word that's like wiffle ball, and I'm like, all right, let's go. We're about to talk about wiffle balls today. I got you. That's what gets me going because I'll be like, all right, well, it's like somebody walking up and saying, check up. We balling now. I ain't scared. So I think it's more of an energy thing. When the crowd's energy of what you gonna say? That's what makes me move more than actually what I'm talking about, or where I'm going with it. Because at that point, it kind of y'all know you get into a trance when you're on that stage, and you kind of lock into what you're doing to the point in which you in the feeling now. I'm just a vessel, kind of moving into motion through. So thank you for that, by the way.
You're welcome. Yeah. So let me ask you.
Man.
We're gonna keep this going. So, has anyone ever stumped you and they knew that they did and you had to take a moment?
No. I can honestly say I've never been stumped. I've not known what the word meant, and I thought it meant something different, so I did a whole poem about the wrong thing. That's happened. And then they look at me like, that boy illiterate. He don't know what he's talking about.
That baby tried, though. Yeah.
I walk up with confidence, and everybody clap anyway.
Like church. Off key, don't care.
Yes, yes. Listen. That's it. So, but I got to listen. So before we come back round to me, Brother Walsh, sir, questioning you, in the same vein actually, because I like this conversation. When you're preparing for your stage show, how do you pick your set?
How do I do what?
How do you pick your set? Like the songs you're gonna perform, because you be blocking and all that on that stage. How do you know what you're gonna actually do? Like,
So it depends. Like if I got any so I usually do multiple songs. I like mix it into one. So like each performance I do, no matter where it is, I always make a new mix. So that means I go in, I pick like I got feel the vibe. So I like listen to like some of my songs that I got. Maybe I'll probably throw in like unreleased in there. Probably pick like 3 to 4, and I'll like put them together. I'll go in my software and like cut different parts of the song, add some boom effects so I can make like a big like hit move there, like put my explosion so I could do like something crazy like a MJ pose or something like that. Cause that's how it was when MJ performed. Like he would have different like stab hits when he performed. So I do that, and I'll take like I don't like to perform like full song because I'll take like good verses of like parts of my song. The only like full song I really like to perform is Rage Driven and Step in Your Lane. But I'll take parts of like my best like verses of a song, do that, and then have it transition to another song so people are getting like, okay, we know multiple of his songs now. I can hear more than like 1 or 2 songs, and he's also not taking up like everybody's time by like performing all those songs fully. He's cutting them. So I'll like try to make it into like a 4 or 5 minute cut, put like 4 or 5 songs in there, and that's like a whole 1 or 2 songs. And I'll depending on what I'm feeling, I'll either pick like more like hype songs, maybe it depends on like how I'm feeling with the mix, but I always take a while to like make the mix. So I'll be like procrastinating what I want to do. Yeah.
I think part of the creative process and putting things together is known that sometimes you question it a lot. Like sometimes that's a part of being a creative, like not like being a perfectionist. Like I don't know if you can be a creative without being a perfectionist. You know how you want those systems to be. So listen, and I will say this to you, I applaud without and I'm not gonna keep calling out your age, but what I applaud about it is what you do is you put together a medley. What you made me realize is that people don't think about putting together medleys anymore. But that, like as you explained, I was like, oh, people don't think about a medley. But what you'll do is you'll put together the medley, chop it up, and then you'll put together a performance situation, which to put on a whole show. And that's something that we don't see a lot of younger acts do, is try to put on a whole show to create a feeling, right? And I love the thought of kind of creating that experience. Listen, he dropped. I'm sure he'll be back. But that brings me to you. Oh man, the king of bass himself. I'm asking because like you don't actually get to pick your genre. Like you pick the bands you perform with, but you don't necessarily pick the genre. So I gotta ask, what's it like? Like at time, is there ever a time when you not in the mood for that style, but you gotta go play that style?
Yes. A lot of times too. I think more or less it's. I think if I had to choose some things, it would just definitely be doing a lot of covers. If I have to do covers that I'm like, oh man, I really don't like that song or whatever. But at the time, but it's not about me. It's about what the audience wants to hear, or it's about once the band wants to play. So you have to. Sometimes you have to switch gears. It's like, okay, this may not be your band. You're hired to perform a job. So okay, so this is what we're playing. This is what you need to do. So. For the bands thing, you have to play it right. For the audience thing, you have to act like you like it, even though you may hate it. I played this song a gazillion times. I hear it, I can't stand it, but you can't let them know it. So you sometimes you have to, change hats, but you do what you do, for the sake of the performance. For the sake of the band, for the sake of the audience, and also too, if music, like me, part of it is heaven's like my livelihood, so you have to do it to sustain, yourself. So I'm not trying to say I'm an actor, but at the same time, but you just have to do what you have to do, to get through something that you may not care for. It's easy to do all the things, that you like, but there are times where like, oh man, I really don't want to play this song again. I really don't want to do this, but here we go.
I'm with it. I dig it. I definitely know the feeling.
Mhm.
I definitely get it. So, so that brings me to you in a similar space. Have you ever had to step on that stage where you weren't there, but you had to get there? And like, you know what I'm saying? And you ain't necessarily feel like going where you was going, but you had to do it. And how'd you get to that, get through that space?
So I would say maybe the day leading up to a performance might have not been the greatest, but I think I like the autonomy I have that I can actually just do, what I want. Now, sometimes maybe the timing of a certain show or like, just the way the night is flowing, that might throw me off, and I just have to push it away, and just try to use my breathing skills and just work with it. But yeah, it's not always easy, and I can admit I have to handle my extroverted self. And so sometimes that part can be tough. But I mean, most open mics, I'm choosing it, I'm there, I'm invested. And so, yeah, it doesn't really happen that much.
Okay, listen, that is a for now thing. You'll see, because I'm telling you this. I'm gonna tell you why as I answer the question myself. What happens is, as you do what you're doing, you'll walk into a space where you're just trying to watch.
Yeah. Yep.
And then you're you. Hey, you, come on, you ain't come on up.
Yeah, that did happen to me a couple of weeks ago. I was doing my research of the band we'll be working with, and the host was like, so what are you doing tonight? So where can I put you on the list? I was like, whoa, wait a minute. I was just trying to say hello and chill. No. I basically got told that I was going up there, but it worked out. I was happy about it, but no, that was not the space I was in. I didn't even have my book with me. I was just like, oh man, now I'm gonna have my phone. I don't want that. Yeah, but the vibes were there, so I was with it.
That's it. That's
Nice.
it. That's what I was saying. I think that vibe will get you there.
Yes.
Right. Sometimes that vibe is what takes you to that space.
Mm-hmm.
LJ Walsh, have you had to perform when you wasn't necessarily in the space? Have you had to perform when like you wasn't really feeling the mood for the songs you picked or the performance you put together? Especially because yours were pre-made, so you kind of already pre-packaged. So if your mood changed before the show, you still gotta go with what you created already. Has that ever happened where you weren't necessarily in that mood?
Yes, it happened a couple of times, especially with like being in like if I had like it's like it depends because I'm still like even like with the performance I'm still like a full-time student. So say that I have like a double so my classes be like 4 hours. Like it depends like what day I have what class. Sometimes I have like a double class, so it'll be like 8 hours and then boom I gotta go on the like last year was 8 hours on a Wednesday and I had to go straight to the Queen right after the class to do my performance. So that day like it was like a bad day and like the class was like it was a lot of like stuff we was doing and I was like getting mad because it was like my stuff wasn't up to par that day. But then I came and I was just like it was probably I think it was like last April and I was just like I still did my thing but I was like right beforehand I was like mad I ain't really relaxed and like that. What? I actually had a question.
Yeah,
I actually had a question for y'all. Actually, so I wanted to know what was all y'all like favorite like performances. Like y'all have a favorite performance that y'all did, or like favorite like place that y'all did a performance at.
Wow.
I like the question.
Yes.
I've had quite a few.
Yeah.
Go ahead, about it, Randy. Tell us about one.
I think probably one of them that I know was actually opening up for Average White Band, with which was it was a huge stage, and you finally got to I mean I've opened up for a lot of national acts, but it was just one of that they were classic, so you're like, oh man. So and everybody's there, so you're like, ooh, you had to really bring it.
Mm-hmm.
So, but that was one of my favorite shows. That, and doing like Roost Picnic. So you have people like Gnarls Barkley, Esperanza Spalding. Say you like, so again, it's a lot of moments, but I would say probably those are probably one of the two big, really big moments over there for me.
That sounds cool. What about you, LaShawn?
So I didn't want to sound, cocky or self-absorbed, but you asked me the question. And I have to say, even though I've been honored to speak at different events and being an opener for I don't know if you guys remember Les Nubian. Nope. Okay. So anyway, they were this French group, but they sang neo soul like in the late 90s. Either way, a few of us poets were the opening act for one half of that duo, and it was on the rooftop of Warm Daddies. Hottest day, the sun's coming in, just like melting everything, but just to be on that ticket with her, that was really special. But when I threw my book release and did like my whole set, and it was, with a band, and I had all 60 of my closest family and friends, that was the most special because it was so supportive, loving, food was great, the vibe, and just, it was a celebration book. So just so I could offset, sounding self-absorbed, but it was a day. It was a moment.
Yeah, and you didn't sound self-absorbed. You sound like you did a good show. Like you was like some dope. Like what they saying yes to dope stuff. You sound like you was saying yes to dope stuff. Like I don't know.
It was dope. Yeah, I just didn't want to be like, oh, it was my, like I didn't want to say it like that. But yeah, that's why I'm writing the next book, so I can throw another party like that and just rock out. Yeah.
I love it. I love it.
Nice.
So I guess to answer your question myself, my favorite one that I've done. Actually, no, I know what it is. My favorite one that I've done was actually local. It was at the Juice Joint when it was at right around the riverfront, and I'll never forget the day because I was tired. It was a day where I didn't feel like it. It was a day, like when I say I was tired. Shouts out to Shane Travel Morena. She had a basketball tournament that day. So during that time, so during the morning, I was like interviewing kids about dealing with city life, and then from like 12 to like 6, I was hosting a block party down Market Street. Shouts out to Sarah Crawford. So I was like running around for a good 4 to 6 hours hosting a block party, up and down the block, yelling and all of this. So shouts out to Barboni on the DJ. It was that. And then it comes about 6 o'clock, and I had told Posy, my man Posy was putting it together. Shouts out to Posy Art. And he was like, yo, I need you to come through. But it was like an open mic scenario. LaCurier was the feature. So, and if y'all, LaCurier is one of the dopest people from local areas. She down on North Carolina now, but she was so fire. So the bar was up there anyway for what she was about to do. And he was like, yo, come on, I need you here. You're going to open, you're going da-da-da-da-da. And I was like, all right, cool. And I said, I'm going to be late because I'm coming from this other place. So it's, cool. He said, just get here. Bet. I literally pulled up. I had to park a little walk away. Right, it was one of those moments where I don't know how. I'm not gonna lie, LaShawn. I know you don't have these moments. Randy, I know you don't have these moments, and I'm pretty positive LJ had these moments too, where you just sit for a second, like I really gotta go in this now. I gotta do it. I'm tired. I don't feel like doing nothing. Okay, I don't want to do it at all. And then I was sitting in the car like this, and my phone rang, and it was Posy. Yo, where you at? On my way.
I'm ready to cry.
Yo, that's all good.
I got up there, I walked in there, and I do this thing where I say I'm staging the stage. I don't always do it, but sometimes I do it, especially when I gotta get myself together. And I do my day by day poem, and I started off with that. And I started taking words, and when I tell you, the people got some phenomenal work out of me. Like, I did something about communication that was like, it just like created, it was just the emotions that I was creating at that time. I did one about kids going to school that don't necessarily have teachers that believe in them. I don't know where I pulled from. I pulled from some other stuff. I was like, where's yes, because the moment was just what it is. Like, so that was probably, that's what I would say was my favorite one, because I was dog tired. I ain't feel like it, and it just came out beautiful. Like, sometimes those be the best ones. What about you, Mr. Walsh?
Shoot, I'm gonna have to go with this one was in it was in the States, so it was in Bear. This was over the summer. It was this summer. It was over the summer. Well, last summer technically, because this summer's coming up. Last summer technically. It was an event. I was one of 7 of the artists that was featured there, and basically, I think I went on like second. That's when I had that was probably the performance where I had the most of like people that I knew there compared to all the other ones where it's just like me and like just random like people. But I had like more people I knew there than any other one. So already like I was like, I gotta show up for them and stuff like that. Like, I gotta go crazy because they never before then they never like had seen me perform. So basically, I did a 7-minute set that I made. I made a 7-minute set, and it was it was active. Like they was going crazy and stuff like that. It was even my friends and like just the crowd in general. They like my friends was hyping, like the crowd got hyped too, and it was like turning like really like turning up like hey like making noise stuff like that with like every beat and stuff like that. And that was my favorite performance because I was able to like what y'all was saying, like mesh with the crowd. So like if the crowd is giving me energy, I'm gonna go crazy. You feel me? I have like when I do like my dance stuff, like a lot of the things that I do is like I practice and I like choreograph it. So depending on like how the crowd goes though, I'm either gonna put in less effort or more effort. There's no like middle. It's gonna be either like if you bring in energy, feel me, I'm gonna go crazy. If you're not, I can't. But that one, like the energy was really there. So I really like I was just feeling it. I was having like a lot of fun doing that one. So that was like my most fun.
I dig it. That's
Nice.
fire. So I gotta before we close out, I gotta ask one strong question to everybody. It's National Women's Month, so I gotta ask about the female influence in the craft. Now, Randy, right, the king of bass. Now, in my brain, I believe you was out there. That's how you was getting them. That's how you was getting. You put that bass out.
That's how.
Hey, how you doing?
Yeah.
Look. Everybody knows the bass makes the women dance, so they make the ladies dance. So.
Hey. Okay.
But how did women actually like influence you in playing in the bands that you tour, or just in your craft at all in general?
Yeah, actually, it's a couple that actually come to mind. Remember like way back, Taste the Honey, you know. Okay, you know, Head Exploded. Okay, because first, you know, it's a female. 2, playing bass. 3, she's grooving like a man. Okay, so that was okay. So all right. So so that was definitely an eye opener. Next, and probably the most prominent, and she's like my sister. Her name is Star Colors, and she was like the first female bassist for George Clinton and P-Funk. And she was out of Philly, her, Lige, and so I would hang out with her, Lige, Curry, and all those cats, man. I'll do some backline technical stuff for them when sometimes they would do stuff for George Clinton or whatever. But the thing is, I learned a lot from her because not only, her playing style, which is, she would kind of remind you of Divinity, and a few other prominent female bass players. But she not only could play bass, but she could also sing. And she also, in my opinion, she was actually a performer too, because she has her own band, like Star Colors Crew. And so I mean, you're sitting there watching, this female, and she's doing it all. And I'm like, ooh. And plus, and the thing about it is,
don't mind the chat. They trolling.
She has that pedigree where she was doing stuff. She, auditioned for Prince. and she was on rock and roll VH1's fantasy band camp, everything else. So you're like wow, all this, and plus we would just hang out. I still talk to her to this day. She's out in California now. But definitely, definitely a huge influence, and especially when it came to the business aspect, of the game as well. People are very, very savvy. Like women are very, very savvy in this business nowadays, and you have to be. And that's just everybody, young, old, male, female. Gender doesn't matter, but it's who you can learn from, and gain that experience. And I look to her and everybody else as like a mentor, that and you're going to if you stop learning, well, you're not growing. And it doesn't matter whether it's music or anything else. You have to be able to grow in anything that you do. Not only to be satisfied with yourself, but just to be able to project that, to other people. That's my thing.
I'm here for it. That is beautiful and truthful, right? Yeah, listen, you do definitely got to be prepared to grow and build and sound like you learned a lot. Listen, I love your influences. That was fire. Okay, LaShawn, I gotta ask you.
I just want to say, I don't know. I don't mind.
I don't mind. It's on the replay anyway. I'm gonna tell you right now. When you got a troll on your show, I expect them to troll you. You see what I'm saying? I didn't know you was a troll. I wasn't under the bridge. But when I realized, I know it was. Well, by the way, if you happen to watch this on the replay, you don't even know what you listen to. Okay, I need to know. If you watch this on the replay,
they trying to give me the crack on. They trying to give me the crack
this
on.
This is one of the ones you should call out. So some of that stuff that's at the bottom of the screen different. Yeah. At any rate, so LaShawn, you outside of how you influence yourself being a female, right? How female. How women influence you in your craft and what you do?
Mm-hmm. So first, Jill Scott comes to mind, and also Flowetry comes to mind. These are people who, it's like if I were in that genre at that time, I would have been like, please let me join you. This is exactly what I want to do. Incorporating music with poetry and just weaving it in and out and just giving the people, both worlds. So I would say those were major influences. And then, obviously some female writers that are too many, to name. But beyond the celebrities, I would say the sisterhood of the female poets I've come across, collaborating with them, being on hosting teams with them, like just like that love that's in the crowd. I haven't come across a catty female poet yet. Not, in my orbit, and so I don't know if that's what I'm attracting, but either way, it's just been all love. And especially if I'm talking about something that I've been through, women have come up to me and said, I feel like you're reading from my diary. Like, what is happening right now, Nice. So just that love, the famous ones, but also like my people. I feel like I'm writing for them sometimes.
Absolutely. Nice. That's dope. Listen, yeah, I'm with you, Randy. That's touching and stuff. All right, okay. What about you, LJ Walsh, sir? How have women kind of influenced what you do in how you create?
I think like vocal wise, like some of the songs are saying like vocal ideas, like harmonies and stuff like that. Cause there's a lot of songs that I do like harmonies and stuff. I think like women, they have the best like vocals, like best sounding vocals like overall. And so I listen to a lot of I listen to both men and women, but for like mainly singing songs, I listen to more women than men for like singing songs. So they got, there's just more like, you feel me, like more oomph in the, you feel me, they do it better, you feel me, a little better. So just a lot of like different vocals and stuff like inspired me just growing up too. Tasha Cobbs is amazing with her stuff with like the gospel scene. Amazing. Flowetry is great. I remember Flowetry was the one that did the Butterflies demo for the Michael Jackson, which I literally just did Butterflies type style of song recently that I'm working on. So it's like a lot of Beyonce is
Mm-hmm.
great too. Beyonce is great. I just there's people that's not even like on the top of my head, but I listen to like a lot. Feel me? I'm like in the moment right now, so I don't. But it's like if you check my playlist, like a lot of the soul like singers, like they come better with women and men. So like when I listen to, like soul and stuff like that, Candace Springs. I don't know if y'all heard of her. She's more like underground, but Candace Springs, like she plays the piano while she sings and stuff like that. And she's done like covers of like Solitude songs, like In My Solitude and things like that. And Pearls, she's done covers of Pearls. So I think y'all should check Candace Springs out.
All right.
That's a good one. Y'all will like her. I know y'all like her.
I'm
Candace
on
Springs.
it.
But
That's a fact.
it's like just like hearing like the harmonies inspired me to like do like harmonies and like some of the older songs I did. So yeah, it's like mainly like harmonization, like and listening like so like the singing aspect, like getting vocal ideas mainly comes from women.
Okay, I'm here
Nice.
for it.
Appreciate
I love it.
Nice.
And I actually agree with you. I think that because I listen to a lot of music, and I even listen to a lot of newer music, and you do hear more creativity and harmonies from female singers than you do out of male singers. I feel like a
Yeah.
lot of male singers fall into, especially newer songs, they kind of fall into a cadence of what popular music can sound like, and it gets blended with hip hop in a very strong way because they're trying to sell. So things get a little crazy that way. So I get it. I get it.
Yeah.
So, all right, and I guess I should say for me, I think for me it's, similar to kind of how a lot of you put it. I guess, I could say, from the pen of, Maya Angelou and Zora Neale Hurston and that whole thing is a thing. Toni Morrison is a thing. Like if anybody don't know about that world, listen, you need to get yourself some Toni Morrison, Zora Neale Hurston, and Maya Angelou. Okay,
Right.
all three of them same time. Okay,
Yeah.
that's a necessity. And I think also, like, I mean, I was raised by women, so like it was my mom and my two sisters. So it was, that what you get poured into is what you learn, how you learn to pour out. And when it comes to like being able to kind of put words together and feel, one of the craziest things, I shouldn't say craziest, but well, kind of that really made me understand was probably about a year ago. I did a poem called Pockets for my old job.
Yeah.
And right now, lately I've been posting it piece by clip by clip because it's 3 minutes. But it was a women's conference. I was the only man invited to speak. Like anybody could. It was virtual. Anybody could go, but I was the only man invited to speak because I was going to speak in it because they wanted me to do a poem about the women's struggle. I was like, you sure you don't want you sure you want me to do it? Like, and it was like, you know what I mean? Like, okay. And going into that and going into what the sacrifice that was made and realizing it. I even did some extra research on it. That's why it's called Pockets, because I learned the story of why women don't have a lot of pockets. It's really weird, but it's a thing. Okay, it's a thing. Okay, and it was like, yeah, let me pour this out and for those contributions. So that's kind of how I perceive it. And then I always believe that Dame Dash said it before, the way women support better than men support. Not for nothing, I just believe that. So I firmly believe that. Like, it's just different. Like, so that's the thing.
Right.
All right. So now, before we get up out of here, I always do this situation where I say, you give me a word, I give you a poem. So I need some words.
Right.
Action. Okay.
Action.
Okay. What you got for me, son?
Action. Yeah.
Mine's going to be inspiration.
Okay. Randy, what you got?
Wonder.
Ooh, okay. G-Dash Jones, hats off. Improv, I'm thinking. Sometimes I wake up and it's not there. Sometimes I wake up and I realize that it wasn't supposed to be because I have to find it because it's not meant to automatically be fair. I get it. Sometimes when I'm thinking about how I'm supposed to be or whatever that thing is that I perceive myself to be, and I'm trying to figure out why I'm not where I could have sworn I was going to be, I have to realize that I'm going to get there. That power is just inside of me. See, a lot of times those may ask me, well, gee, what's happening? And I tell them, ain't nothing but some action. Right? Because you got to stay in movement when you want to get to it. A lot of times people act like they're going, but you can see they not really doing it. They talk a lot. And that's when I start to get lost, when their actions don't match what they're saying. For some reason, they talk heavy, but they're not displaying that same inspiration. And they seem like they're going to do it on every other occasion, but you're trying to figure out why they just fake. Okay, that's when I start to thinking and I start to wonder, why aren't they what they said they were? Why do they look at me like I'm moving too fast when I'm just trying to get mine, and I'm sorry if I pass in the same blur? That's when I wonder. Where do they think I'm supposed to be going? How do they assume that my hand is always showing like I ain't got a couple extra cards and they don't know? That's when I wonder. Okay? What inspires them to think that they can be my inspiration?
Oh.
That's when I wonder, how can they judge my actions when we only meet upon passing? Woo! I ain't nothing but a bunch of straws that they grasping. Fine. I'm just trying to tell y'all what happened. That's all I got, y'all. I'm out. That's it. This G-Dash Jones.
Okay.
Little hats off situation. Now, with that said, I gotta ask, what y'all got coming up? LaShawn, what you got coming up? Tell the people about this situation.
Saturday, March 11th at the Monday Club, we have an open mic. We bring the vibes. We got a live band, background vocals, drinks, food truck, 7 to 11. Meet me there. It's this Saturday and every second Saturday of the month. So we're gonna have a good time.
That's a fact. I'm gonna be in the building. I know Erica gonna be there. She's gonna be pouring them drinks. It's gonna be nice. It's gonna be flowing nice and toasty. I'm here for it. All right. LJ, what about you?
The main thing I'm gonna promote, I'm gonna just show y'all. Feel me? Let me take my phone off the little tripod, and I'm gonna show y'all this 30-second. If y'all didn't see it yet, I'm about to show y'all. I know a lot of y'all in the chat seen this. So this is the trailer for my new little show that I'm doing. So hopefully it's clear, but tune in.
Nice.
So that's coming late March. I'm currently in production too. I was just on the set again. I was on my own. I'm my own director, on editor. I'm doing all that. So bear with me, y'all. But feel me, working on the soundtrack too. So all the soundtrack is gonna be original stuff from me. Right now I'm still putting together episode 1, but episode 1 everything is filmed. I still need to finish editing the final fight scene, which is a crazy fight scene. You're gonna see Ghetto Flash coming late March. Episode 2 in production. I just filmed the clip for episode 3. Went out right out Market Street. You feel me? Most of the filming is right out the city downtown. You feel me? Had the tripod. We going crazy. I'm doing what I can do myself. You feel me? But everybody support. Late March. I'm hoping, it's not confirmed, but I'm hoping I can drop the first episode late March. It's a lot of work. I'm still editing. I don't have a team like these shows, but late March. I'm also looking to get it on Tubi and other services. So I'm going to be looking into that. I have everything mapped out. I just got to get a couple more of the information submitted, and I have to finish the actual episode to even get it considered. So look for that. It's going to be on YouTube mainly. YouTube in the future. It's going to be on Tubi. We're going to say it's going to be because we like to see positive. It's not no maybe. It's going to be. It's going to be on Tubi. It's going to be on services, and it's going to be noticed. Feel me? We're going to speak that in existence. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, it's something different. I haven't really done anything like this before, but a lot of people are liking what I'm doing. So I'm going to go crazy. Episode 1, hopefully, late March.
Listen, I'm here for it. Ghetto Flash in the building. My man, a whole superhero. I started to plot that. Oh, wait, he a real superhero. I wasn't prepared. I'm here for it. I love it. All right, listen, and Random Man, the king of bass. What you working on, sir?
Oh man, let's see. The 25th will be it's playing at Stoney's with Gretchen Emery Band, and also too we'll definitely be going back in the studio, recording some more songs, and let's see, next month April, I believe it's the 29th to the 30th. Up in Smoke, I'll be playing with Harvey Rhodes. Definitely get there. That's going to be off the chain. And I get another, and I believe April. Is it going to be in April? April, I forgot what date it is. I'll be with Gretchen Emery Band again. But this time we're taking it to Pittsburgh. We're going to be doing a show up there. So those are the three things I got as of late. And like again, last week did Shine a Light. If you guys never saw a Shine a Light show at the Queen, next year check it out. 60 plus local musicians, man, killing it. High end production, lighting, sound, everything. So they put it on your calendar for next year. It's definitely worth going.
Yeah, listen, I got to shout out to Darnell Miller for what he put together on that. That was different. That was different. I saw you on there. You was there. Aziza was there. Naja was there.
Yeah.
Like it was a bunch of Ty Mathis was there. It was like a bunch of. I was like, yo, I was scrolling through my books. That was lit. I said, oh, it was a vibe. Listen, okay, I'm here for it. And I do have to shout out to Up in Smoke and the Delphi group because, listen, I am hosting Up in Smoke. And, yeah, so y'all going to see me on that stage. I'll be hosting this 3-day festival. It's a good time for a good vibe. And Harvey Road going to be doing the Black Album. I believe they're doing the Black Album set
Black
live
Album, yep.
with the band. Like, it's going to be different.
The whole thing.
Yeah.
The whole thing.
It's the full Black Album. I said, what? Oh, it's going to be rocking. And and by the way, I also, of course, next Sunday, it's going to be oddly dope. Me and Naja Nicole, we putting on a show. We putting on a whole show, like something that I ain't never seen before. Like, it's going to be like this, a synergy type of situation. And Naja going to get the vocals. It's going to be a vibe at the Oddity Bar next Sunday. Listen, we rocking. With that said, I appreciate all of you for coming on here. Thank you so much for giving me a great show.
Yes.
Appreciate the time. Appreciate the opportunity.
Thank you.
You know what I'm saying?
And LJ, listen, understand, as long as you got trolls, you always got viewers. Okay, so
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah.
That's right.
and engagement. You can't find
Boost the statistics.
They was hitting
you
him
know what
hard.
I'm
They was
saying?
hitting him hard, though.
it was going in.
But
Try to give me the crack, bro. They got it, bro. They got it.
I
Aaron and Jarlin, bro.
my soul after those comments. All right, I got to Purell my spirit. Okay. With that said, it's been a pleasure. Y'all have a great evening. Thank you all. See y'all next week.
Later.
For sure. All right,